Now the handshake is being completed. Now Alice shared a session key with the first relay with the second relay. Now it wants to extend it to the exit node. All it does, similar way, and double encrypts, have is 2 layers of encryption. Firstly with the shared key, forward shared key share with the second, and then on top of it with the first, and underneath it, of course, is a handshake request. So it will send it first to the first node. The first node will use its own shared forward key to decrypt the first layer. It will try to read the contents, but it cannot, so it will forward it further to the next node. On forwarding to the next node, of course, it decrypts it will forward it to the first node, and the first node will use its own shared key with the Alice, forward key with the Alice, and then decrypts the second layer, or rather the first layer, the inner layer, and reveal the controlled payloads. See the command which says relay extend, so it knows that it's to extend this relay. So it uses that information, and with the IP address and the port number that to send, so it will channel, extract the TLS handshake request, generate a create cell, place it as its own as the create cell payload, and send it to the last node. The last node will use its own private RSA key to decrypt the first layer as it was signed before, and then compute its own, decrypt the second using this metric, compute its own second, that is this Diffie-Hellman P protocol, create a creator cell and send it back to the cell number 2, relay cell number 2. On reaching here, it will extract this data and generate a relay extended encrypted with the backward key shared with the Alice. Okay, and now send it through the same route back to the first relay node. On reaching here, the relay node, of course, sees the command is relay, and it cannot read this, so all it does is just to encrypt it again and send it backward to the, with its own backward key share with the Alice, and send it back to the Alice. On reaching Alice now use its shared backward key with the first relay, decrypt the first layer, use the shared key backward key share with the second relay, decrypt the second layer, and reveal the response, handshake response from the last relay nodes. Then it will compute the KH, the key materials, and compare the derivative key. Once they are the same, then the handshake is completed, and now session key is established between the 3 relay and the Alice. So this is in a nutshell what happened in establishing the circuit, and from then on, of course, Alice now can relay with Bob through this circuit. Okay, now what are the challenges involved in running Tor exit nodes? To be frank, as a user, you face little or no challenges. The challenges of mostly users, because the Tor users can be categorized into mainly 2. We have those that uses Tor as a client, so all they need, they use Tor to communicate anonymously through the internet. However, there are other users that are also use this to relate on the internet, but as well use it to contribute, to donate their bandwidth to the Tor community. And these are the Tor relay nodes we are talking about. The Onion proxy, which you need to, one of them is the Vidalia, which you need to install on your system, has an interface that you can use to kind of decide what type of user you want to be, and based on that, if you want to be a relay node, then you determine whether a guard node, whether an exit node, relay donor, or just a relay donor that's in the intermediate, as well as, of course, you are a user. So if you decide to be an exit node, then in that case you will have a right to say your exit policy, whether you is open to be used for any other form of traffic relaying, or a specific traffic. So that is why it's good for us to know what are the challenges that are involved in making such decision, because some of the information that reaches us shown that particularly those that are running Tor as exit nodes were found to have one or two problems because of the policy of the government, because of whether lack of really understanding of the what the Tor is meant for, the government agency that monitors the traffic, because mostly in many countries they all have their policy. It's not everything that is being allowed to come into the country, and like in our case, Saudi Arabia is non-Taurus. We block some of the government blocks some of the sites. There are some information that are not allowed to be freely passed through the traffic. I mean, through the Saudi gateway. Okay, in that case, what happened when normally happen, they have to filter out. So such instance, of course, Saudi doesn't block Tor, but there are some of the information that, of course, if you they are censored out. So if you are running an exit node and you happen to be frequently relaying such informations that are sensitive to the government, then you can be a victim. So I don't know of any records of a victim of Tor exit nodes in Saudi Arabia, but in some other countries, a lot of things like that happen. So